Alright, so in this section I'm just going to go over some of the basics as far as how you moderate a session and basically to become familiar with the Elluminate window. So Elluminate is actually really slick to use and it's pretty user friendly. So as participants come in, their name would appear underneath mine here. If you wanted to grant moderator privileges for people as they come in, you would right click on them and then you would give them moderator privilege. Otherwise they would come in at the participant level. And the difference being that they would have control over some of the other features. So it's usually not really a good thing to have everyone as moderators, obviously, just the people that are running the meeting. When people log on, the first thing you're going to instruct them to do is to go up to where it says Tools. Then they're going to go to Audio Setup Wizard. And here it actually guides through the whole entire process of how to just ensure that their microphone and headset is working properly. So here they would choose the microphone and headset they're using. They would say okay, and it guides them step by step through, and they do this on their own. So the first thing you do is guide participants to that, and they would do that on their own. If they're doing the Audio Setup Wizard where it says Moderator Me, it would say Audio Setup Wizard. So then you know that they're performing that activity and if they're not responding to you, you know why. After they've gone through that and they've made sure that their microphone and headset works, or they can use their external one on their computer too, that's not a problem, then it's usually good to go through these different icons here so that participants are familiar with them. So if someone has a question, they would then raise their hand, which gives a little ding, and then if several people had their hands, it would be numbered in order that they raised their hands. Then the participants would just have to ensure that they put their hand down by clicking on that same icon. If you ask a question and you want them to provide a thumbs up or a thumbs down, basically that's what this icon is here for. So if they don't like the answer to something, they could give a thumbs down. If they are happy about something, give them a thumbs up. If you're checking for understanding to see if they're with you or not, you can certainly use these little icons also. So you can certainly use those. Other features are using this check mark and the X. So they can also do a little bit of voting there too. And there's lots of advanced features, but it's not necessarily for a general meeting. There are voting tools and things like that that I'm not going to get into. So basically just ensuring that they understand how to use those icons. Usually I do a quick run through of that first. Then at the bottom, and I'm sorry you can't really see on my screencast here because it's blurry, but right here there's a recording button. When you're ready to begin the meeting, you would click on record, and when you're done you click on stop at the end of the meeting. This will automatically record your meeting and cache it to the appropriate place, so that's good. When people are speaking in the room, they would have to choose this little microphone down here. They would click on that, and as they're speaking, you can see how my voice is going across here. They would be the one that would have the floor. Then when they're done, they have to ensure they click off the microphone, and then it would allow the moderator or other people to be able to participate with their microphones. Other ways that they can participate is through this chat box here. So they can actually type messages to each other and provide feedback and sometimes extra resources for one another. So often there's really good back channeling that occurs in here that's on topic, or little conversations. If people don't have a microphone headset, for example, they can actually type and still communicate and be part of the conversation. One thing to consider here for participants is that they can choose selected participants to send a message to, or all people in the room, or just the people who are running the meeting. So they can actually ask you a question individually if they want to do that too, by selecting the moderators and typing a question. Then the question would go to those folks that are running the meeting only. So you can see how here it says it's going to moderator only instead of the entire room. So that means no one else would be able to see it. One thing for participants to realize, though, that you as moderators would be able to see all side conversations. So if they think they're sending messages to only selected participants, the other participants in the room will not be able to see those messages, but all the moderators would be able to see all messages. So that's important that that's disclosed up front so that there's no weird moments happening there. This would be your window in which your PowerPoint will be displayed. So you can load that either when you're creating the meeting, or you can do that after the fact at any time. And so this is where your slides would be displayed, and they progress through with the front and back, keeping in mind again that the transitions of a PowerPoint and the links will not function in here. You will see the images only from the slides. There's also little tools here that can be used by participants. So if they're wanting to engage and type directly on this area, they could type right here too, and they can provide feedback to one another. And there's some other features here that you're probably not going to use. So for the most part, most people are going to be having something that they're displaying here, or they're going to be doing a web tour, which would then take you to different websites, or you'd be sharing your desktop. So when you're sharing your desktop with people, then they would be able to see what is displayed on your screen. And for those individual components, those are quite user specific. And so I would just suggest going to the links that are below this little brief tutorial so that you can see all of the ins and outs for all of the different functions. But to get started, most people just need to know these three main components. So how to manage the people that are in the room, how to integrate, how to have typing conversations with one another, how to use your voice conversations, and then how to have a visual. So those are the main key components. But do know that you can share your desktop and applications that are on the moderator's desktop, as well as you can take them to websites. So those functions do exist. So that should give you a quick overall of how you would begin a moderating session as a beginner. And if you need other information, I'd be glad to help. And Elluminate website has a ton of information also. Thank you.